It's Ashwin Rao. This, my friends, is one of my favorite makers out there. This is Kiattoko Handmade. Kiattoko, for those of you who don't know, is run by CK Yo, someone who knows far more about engineers than I do. So I've really relied upon him to help design this particular pair for me. What I love about Kiattoko is some of their executions of the styles, both novel and classic. They have a really fantastic service boot pattern. I have a pair of Wheaties, which I really love. And they have their Old Boy, which is a unique pattern, derby style boot with fairly extensive broguing. And then this model, which is their Engineer. Their Engineer is really a unique design, has a very tall shaft, taller than almost all my other shafts. This particular model is made using a Badalassi Carlo Nemesis leather. The Nemesis leather is a milled grain leather that you can see here that has the propensity to form nice rolls. It's thick enough that it has nice rolling patterns, but also forms these micro creases over time. And I've seen it done to really nice execution on other styles, but not on one of his Engineers. And so I contacted CK and we worked out this design and pattern using the Nemesis leather and his Engineer style, which you can see is more in the style of a dress Engineer. It has that more tapered nose, flatter nose, unstructured toe, and a very nice heel counter. I love how the lines of this Engineer flow here to here to here and here. There's this very organic look to the pattern of leather cutting done and how they click the leather to create a really organic looking shoe. It's something that Kiattoko does better than almost anybody I'm aware of. This works really well with semi-formal and casual wear in the modern heritage footwear and style. It has, I believe, 11-inch height, and the Nemesis leather has just got this really rich, deep red-brown leather that I think it's going to be something that ages really well and patinates really nicely over time. You can see that this particular piece has 4 punch outs for adjusting fit and your standard inverted buckle here. It kind of scallops in rather bulging out here, similar up here, kind of that inverted buckle and the roller buckle style that you see right there. And if we look at the last here, you can see a somewhat almond-shaped round-toed last. And you see that toe track right there that was created. Another choice that you can choose should you want to do that. See this leather strap here widens at its origin here before it is stitched down underneath the heel counter. It's a style that I've seen a few Japanese makers employ, and I really like that style. That double row of stitching here with a triple row across the back heel counter and a triple row across the fairly simple back heel stay and leather piece right here. Not much patterning, but that's okay. It's a clean look. Sometimes that work can get a little bit much, so I like the fact that that's relatively clean for this particular pair. We can see here that the fastening stitching done, there's really no triangles. It's just a couple rows of stitches done as almost like a tight oval here and here. So very cleanly done, very elegant, almost hidden work. You can see the single row of stitching, a slight contrast, golden colored stitch bringing down that V here, and then that upturned collar along that edge there. And the whole collar, you can see it kind of turns up over here and it's a little bit down over here on the inside. Another thing that I really like is this contrast sole. We have what appears to be the welt. This is a 270-degree flat welt, followed by a double midsole and then a rubber toppy. But if we look over here, that double midsole tapers down right there. That taper then ends. So we have a double transitioning to a single midsole along the waist. Not seen very often amongst Engineers, in a very, very nicely executed pattern. And then that single midsole continues all the way through the entire sole. Then we have 3 additional pieces to create that leather heel counter with a slightly shorter sized heel block. And then cat's paw. We see the cat's paw rubber toppy, which is both glued and has nails, 3 at top, almost like a toe plate, but with nails there, 2 at the base here. You can see the stitching on the hand welting here. It's a hand welted shoe. And then your classic cat's paw heel, done in a mid-brown colorway. I believe these are reproduction cat's paw. I don't know if they're the original. Modern, clean aesthetic, clean design, elegant flowing lines, a rich leather that takes a shine quite nicely, and this really character-driven Badalassi Nemesis leather with a slight contrast stitching, all coming together, executed on a dress engineer last that should fit my wardrobe very well. So Kiattoko, hard to argue with the quality you're going to get from a brand like Kiattoko. Rapidly emerged on the scene over the course of the past year. I was, I believe, the first owner of one of their pairs outside of Indonesia and outside of their immediate group, because they sent me a pair of their Old Boy, and I still own that and love that pair. And that was in a shell cordovan from the Hikaku tannery, which I thought was the nicest representation of shell cordovan and the nicest execution of that leather that I'd ever seen. And a first-time boot kind of blew me away. So I knew that this was somebody who'd been making at some level and not just starting from scratch. Really organic design choices here that add to the dressiness of this particular style. So as you go through my videos and see the different engineers, you're going to see how this standard pattern with a double strap, a front leather panel with the vamp and the start of the shaft there, the shaft panel, the back heel stay, and the heel counter, how that can all be executed in different manners and how the different soles can come together to create very unique styles and representations of the engineer boot. Very excited to start on my journey with their pair, particularly with this thin cat's paw toppy, which I'd never seen before. Just enough to just create some grip traction and water protection. And as I mentioned, that double midsole tapering here to a single midsole, and then the contrast welt, which adds a flare that none of my other engineers have. So I find it to be something that is very appealing, even a standout amongst a lineup of standouts in my engineer collection at this point. So I think you're going to enjoy taking a look at Kiattoko as well. Hope you all have a good one. We'll talk soon. Take care and goodbye.